All right, we're going to attempt the Demaree Split, or the Demaree Split, or however you say it. We'll just call it the funny farm split here. This hive's been bearding out real bad in the evening times when it's hot. And so we're going to give them a little smoke and let them know we're here. Then I'm going to be looking for the queen, see if she's in the top box, and I'll move her down to the bottom box. Definitely a box full of bees. I'm gonna look and make sure the queen's not on any of this stuff. She shouldn't be, but you never know. Might want to have a hive tool handy. Go ahead and give them some smoke, see if I can get them talk back in there. I can always knock them off back into the box, but that disturbs them a little bit more than I want to. There is a lot of bees in here, so we're fixing to they're fixing to know who we are. The wind's blowing that way, so I'm gonna put my smoke in from this side for the most part. And I'm gonna smoke the wham out of it. If I gotta tear up, they should have to tear up. I'll let that sit there for just a second. Let the smoke work. So they know we're here. This is one thing we don't need. When I first started keeping bees and watching YouTube, I thought you had to feed bees, so we put a bunch of feeders in and stuff like that, but we don't feed bees. If they can't feed themselves, they're gonna have to go somewhere else. So all this is doing is taking up room that could be used for something better, like, let's just say, honey. So this feeder, it can go. And for whatever reason, they don't like this top box. So we may not be doing a Demaree split on this one. We may just be doing add a super. A lot of bees in there. It's about a box full of bees, but still not exactly what I'm looking for. They're drawing a little comb there, but nothing really significant. So you never know when you're going into these hives whether you're doing what you think you're going to be doing, or if you're going to be doing something else. There's some capped brood. The queen has definitely been running around the top box. Lots of capped brood. It wouldn't surprise me to find her right here somewhere. She's never where you think she's going to be, though. weather's cool, the bees are fairly calm. I'm just gonna take my time and look as good as I want to. There's a lot of bees up here. Lots of cap brood. Trying to get used to having these half readers on so I can halfway see. Go ahead and turn. There she is right there. I'm gonna move over here and see if, I don't know if I'll get her the way I'm videoing, but she's up there in that top right corner. So I want to make sure she goes in the bottom. And one way to do that is put her in a queen clip. It's really a good way to do it. I got her in there. I like to put a rubber band around it once I get her in there, but that's not going to happen this time. Just going to be careful with her. I was just looking to make sure that was her. I'm gonna try to, I don't think that's gonna work real good, but I'll try to show y'all what we got. She will be going in the bottom. And actually, now that I found her, put her down there in the shade and go ahead and pull this top box off. I know that there's lots of cap brood here that I'll be want to move up to the top. So I'm just going to set that down. Go ahead and ease these frames back together right here. And these frames that don't have a lot of bees on them, kind of want them out of the way so I can put brood in here. We're gonna give them a little smoke, let them know we're still here. gonna go ahead and add those bees to that box there. Go ahead and get them in that bottom box. See if I can get them really aggravated with me. And then I'm gonna go through here on this other box here, see if I see about moving brood to the box that I'm gonna put on top. Much if it's got cap brood, this one don't. So this one will actually be a good one to leave down here in the bottom because it's pretty well empty. It would have been nice to see a little honey on that one, but there wasn't any. Make sure there's not any swarm cells on the bottom here. I'm gonna have to actually disturb them a little bit to be able to see. That didn't work real good. Get over here and let the wind put a little smoke around my head. So I'm smelling those bananas. We're gonna go ahead and give it to them. Mess up their pheromone there. The one that's saying sting him. There's a little bit of cap brood in this one, but not a lot. So there's still plenty of room for her to lay there. So I'm gonna go ahead and ease that back in there. There wasn't any swarm cells on it. I'm kind of surprised not to see any swarm cells. As many bees as this is. I think our swarm season's a little bit later this year. There's a lot of cap brood on this one, so we're gonna move it over here to this other. Box. Finally able to make a little room. Easier to work with. Make you a little room. There's not a whole lot of cap brood on that one, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and move it. Just to give me a little more room. There's not much cap brood on here at all, so I'm gonna go ahead and ease it back in there. There's a fair amount of cap brood on this one. I just need to get a few more. Brood, pollen. I'm gonna hold this one for right this second and see if any of these other ones have more cap brood than that. Because I only have room for 3 more. Pretty light. Still lots of room for laying in that one. Remember to pump that smoker every once in a while. It'll be ready to go when you decide you need it. Plenty of room for laying in that one. So what we've got here is some frames that had some, I spun the honey out of them last spring, and then I put them in the freezer wet, so there's a little bit of honey for them to eat. We've got a lot of sunshine coming over the next few days. So they should get a chance to go get them something to eat. This wasn't very heavy with honey. I didn't see a lot of honey at all, but they're gonna have to reach and get it if they want to stay here. This is just some wet frames that I've had put up in the freezer. It's easy for them to straighten them out and go to work on them. So we're going to put a queen excluder on after we make sure our queen makes it back down in the bottom. This is going to be her going in the bottom here. I got to get to where I can see in the sun. There she is. And I've seen her crawl down safely between the frames. So now I'll put on a queen excluder. I'll put on this box here. It's got some wet frames in it that I had taken out of the freezer. I've used some of them in both of the other boxes, but what I'll do is I'll checkerboard those with the frames with some heavy wax frames. These have actually been drawn out a little bit, or this one has been drawn out a little bit. That's a heavy wax frame that was probably double waxed, and I added wax to it. So I'm just kind of checkerboarding them. It means I'll put one that hadn't been drawn, one that has been drawn, one that hadn't been drawn, and so on and so forth until I get it filled back up. Or run out of stuff. Got some robber bees that have joined the hive. They'll once I put the top on, they'll have to go out the door. So they may join this hive. Who knows what they'll ultimately do. brood comb there. I don't want to put it in my. I want to put it in where my honey's gonna get stored. I want it to be all pretty clean, pretty fresh. Heavy wax. So I've got my bottom deep with the queen in there and lots of space for laying. I've got the queen excluder on there. Then I've got a box of drone comb and heavy wax comb. And then I'll set this box that has the, this box has most of the cat brood in it now. It'll go right on top. And as they hatch out, the bees will move down and it'll open this up for storing honey too. And I'll go back in here, if I remember, I'll go back in here in about 7 days and just check for swarm cells, because this top part, they'll think they're queenless possibly. But I gave them some space. I didn't see any swarm cells. I didn't see a lot of honey in there. They're gonna have to go to work here pretty quick. But for the most part, I'm gonna go ahead and leave the top slid forward, kind of vent it a little bit. Youch, is what I like to say. I didn't need arthritis in that kneecap anyway. I think I'm gonna collect my tools, back out for a minute, let them decide they don't want to be all over me. And that is a Funny Farm split.